Overcoming the profit squeeze, how partnerships help accountants deliver more value for less effort. Welcome to The Connected Accountant, the podcast where we explore how strategic partnerships can transform accounting practices. I'm your co-host Anthony Perl, and today we're addressing one of the biggest challenges facing accountants, the profit squeeze, that relentless pressure to do more, faster, and for less. And we're revealing how partnerships are the key to breaking free from the race to the bottom.
The more personal partnerships we can create, the more we've got a chance of not just surviving the next 5 to 10 years, but also thriving.
If you're an accountant and you want to stand out, have a workshop and use your partners to promote that workshop on your behalf.
To be the partner of choice, you have to show value.
Joining me today are our 3 regular panellists who bring incredible expertise to The Connected Accountant: Talila Kroy from Emple, Findlay from the Backroom, and Ian Aldridge from Progressive Legal. Let's get into what will make you the Connected Accountant. Well, everyone, we have a topic that I think is dear to the heart of accountants, but probably dear to the heart of a lot of businesses as well, because the whole idea of the profit squeeze and the expectation that you have to do more and earn less for it is something that we all have to deal with, but accountants particularly have to deal with. And ultimately, we're going to come to why partnerships is a big factor in helping solve that problem. But Ian, if I could start off with you, this whole expectation of what people want, how fast they want it, and how little they want to pay for it is a reality.
Yeah, I think especially in the last 5 years since COVID, we've seen a race to the bottom, I think, in a lot of professional services. And it has been an endless bugbear, I'm sure, for accountants, lawyers, and other professional services alike to try and convince clients that it's not the best option to go with the cheapest one. And more recently, we know that Australian businesses and New Zealand businesses are really struggling, because when I get potential clients coming to the firm and saying, hey, make this quote the sharpest you can because my boss has told me to get 3 quotes and go with the cheapest, you know that businesses are struggling out there. So they're really watching their pennies very, very carefully right now. But we all know that the phrase, the poor man pays twice, and you'll get them on the next round when they realize that going with the cheapest option is not great, or will have to be involved in a litigation matter when the firm that did the work for them didn't do a good job and then they got in trouble. So we then have to clean it up. I'm sure it's the same with accountants. You know, how many clients did you pick up, Wayne, from previous accountants where they've gone to a previous accountant that they really shouldn't have because they made a determination just on price alone, and they realised, no, we need to find a reasonably priced solution for our business, not the cheapest one.
I always say you need the value, don't change on price, look at value. And they were your worst clients that you got, the ones that just were shopping around. We wouldn't even look at them, to be honest. It wasn't worth it, because you know that someone else will, you get them on price, and then next thing you know, they've gone to someone that they found is cheaper. And one, they probably didn't listen to your advice that you gave them as well, because they wanted it for nothing.
It's a real temptation, isn't it? Because ultimately we want to help people, right? And they say, oh, you know, quote from this other firm, this for this much. And you look at the other firm and you go, oh, don't go with them. Gosh, like, fine, you know, we'll price match on this occasion, but that's really just to save your ass, because you're not going to get the same level. So you might make exceptions for some clients that you're like, I really want your business. But if you do it for everyone, you know, you're just contributing to this race to the bottom, and cheapening your brand and cheapening the value of your services.
I think one of the interesting things that reminds me of a book, and I know, Talila, you'll be familiar with the author, Andrew Griffiths, who wrote this fabulous book called Someone Has to Be the Most Expensive, Why Shouldn't It Be You? And I think it's a question of not driving to the bottom. I don't know you necessarily have to be the most expensive, but it's actually about delivering quality and allowing the services that you've got to be added on to by partnerships that are going to help you deliver that quality more consistently.
Yes, I think that almost every client we have, because our core product, our core solution is the sales suitcase. We help visionary business founders to express their value and step out of selling and enable anyone else to do it for them. And almost all of them have massive intangible value in their business. They're doing things better. They're doing things to a higher standard or differently to their competitors. And of course, that means that they cost a bit more, but the layer of value, like the ROI that they give clients, is many, many, many layers. That communication piece has to be both in your sales, communication, client acquisition, but also with partners, because to be the partner of choice, you have to show value to clients that exceeds that of other partners. And once you can do that, you can attract partners of the same quality. What you offer the clients is not just yourself, you offer a network of quality. And that's something that people can't get anywhere else. And that's not something that they can price match. And that's how you stand out.
Yeah, and I think standing out is incredibly important, isn't it, Wayne? And giving people that freedom to be able to stand out by having the right partnerships in place so you can stand out for the right reasons.
Yeah, I think especially with AI right now, and I think you can stand out, and I think you can show your partners how you can stand out. And I was thinking about in the previous podcast about how would you promote yourselves nowadays with accountants and trying to get new clients in with partners. And I talked about doing some AI workshops. And then people get confused as far as partnering is just sending you leads, but really it's about sharing your databases as well. So if you're an accountant, you want to stand out, have a workshop and use your partners to promote that workshop on your behalf, and then you'll get the leads out of it. So don't just think, send me leads. Think about, the wider network of if you've got how many, say we have 8 partners in your client centricity type setup, and each of them might have 2,000 or 3,000 leads. So when you have an event, imagine the marketing that you can have to get to your event. That's what Talila's trying to show as far as how you can do things. And it's something that we forget a lot.
Exactly, mate. And not only that, but you're speaking directly to the people that matter. Like each of those partners, you already know they have the clients that need what you offer, and that you can express the value very clearly to them. Whereas when you go out cold, half of the marketing, it's just like a lot of it falls out of the bucket because it's not really for those people. You're kind of showing a lot of people. Whereas when you're partner marketing, not only it's far more affordable and trust is transferred, but you are speaking to target markets because each of those partners has their own audience of target markets. Super powerful way of doing things. And like Wayne said, you can run amazing events with partners. One of our clients actually he has JVs with a number. He's in the financial services industry. He trains people how to use stocks and shares. His whole approach is marketing partnerships. And over the last 7-8 years, he's built an incredible number of clients, thousands of clients who study this. And it's all through the partnerships that he has with coaching organizations and other companies where he runs events with them and gets leads.
You could run a podcast as well too. So have Anthony, leveraging off the partner's knowledge. You have Anthony organize a podcast with one of your referral partners, and you really don't need to do much because you don't have to really prepare much yourself for it. You just get the partner to present and give them a piece of up-to-date knowledge on something that they've learned or something new in the market, new in law, new in marketing, new in AI, etc. And then you're leveraging off their knowledge and giving that benefit to the clients, which raises your profile and shows them, hey, they're on the ball, they're all over this.
This particular podcast, it's because a group of partners got together to create this, to share our perspectives, and you're listening to it on one of our networks. It might be on Ian's, it might be on Wayne's, it could be on mine. So that's the power of it. More people will listen to it and you'll get more perspectives. That's partnership marketing in action. And the beauty of the podcast too is that if I want to introduce someone to Wayne or to Ian, I can say, here, listen to them. This is who they are. And immediately they can connect through that. And partnership, it's really important to provide partners with assets that can promote you, that give the client an understanding of who you are. And this is an example of one of those that these things can create.
I think, Talila, just on that point, I remember now when you sent one of the first emails to me, you had a link to an interview that you had with someone about partnerships.
Yes.
And I watched it.
Oh, there you go. I didn't even know that.
Yep.
And it's so powerful because people then understand your philosophy. They feel like they know you. And so one of the things we do, and one of the things I encourage every accountant to do for their partners, is create assets that showcase what their partners do that they can give to their clients so their clients understand that value. And for an example for me, like Wayne works with 150 accounting firms around the world. They've got an incredible growth calculator that literally will help a firm to design its future. Like, how much do I need in compliance? How much do I need in advisory? Based on my current numbers and my future numbers, put it all in and you get like a roadmap. That is something that I send clients to because it's an existing asset that I can just refer people to. And I think we should link maybe to this episode.
Yeah.
I'm just
put it in there, Anthony. Yeah.
Send, yeah.
We'll add that into the equation. But I think it's, it goes back to this whole idea of working smarter, right? I mean, I think that, if there is a squeeze on profit, you have to deliver more. And the great thing that happens in terms of an accounting practice, and again, is similar to what we've done here and what you were talking to, Ian, is that by having a group of people, a group of partners together in one, you're actually delivering more for everyone because you're showing how you can work together. You're showing the quality of different partners and the relationship building. And from your own perspective, all of the partners are talking about you on a consistent basis as well, because of course, everyone wants to share the podcast. So, I mean, that is all about working smarter, isn't it? I mean, that's, just an example of it.
Yeah. And I think we all know, especially when you start to ramp up as a business, your time starts to get really stretched, very thin across all these areas, right? And you've got to be the technician, you've got to be the trainer, you've got to be the mentor, you've got to be the supervisor, you've got to be the marketing expert, you've got to be as much as you can over the numbers, which put my hand up and say I'm not. One of the things that I thought, there's a couple of points. Wayne, you were saying, like trying to stand out in this day and age. I think the biggest opportunity for us as professional advisors, accountants and lawyers is that everyone out there, and this is what we sort of realized when we were surveying the market, they're all fairly grey. They all look the same. Their websites look the same. Their marketing looks the same. Their branding looks the same. Their messaging looks the same. So it's actually really easy for us to stand out. It's like if we put our little pinky out, it looks like we're putting our whole arm out, right? So it's actually, there's a really big opportunity for us as accountants and lawyers and professional advisors to stand out in this crowd of grey men and women that all talk the same. Also, like clients kind of think that we all come out of university like, that old Monty Python where they stare at the people and they come out on the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
And they all look the same, like they all think that we come out being exactly the same and wearing the same uniform and being rolled out on a conveyor belt, right? But what we have to do is just have a green tie, and you'd be like, whoa, that person's really different. What makes them different? And people are interested. And so having something like this when you're presenting to potential partners makes you stand out from the crowd so much. So there's a real big opportunity to be different and look different and act different. And you don't really have to do that much to stand out.
Have your own BNI network. Effectively, think about your partners as your own BNI group without paying the BNI fees. And the other thing is you can choose who goes in it. So you can have like-minded people in your network. And when you sit around the table, and you have it structured, you can think of things that you can do, and things like, hey, there's a cricket match in such and such. Let's go buy some tickets and we'll go and invite some clients to that, and we can do blah, blah, blah. We can have a speaker. There's so much you can do when you've got a good group of people together that you can think of. I like events. I think events will be a good thing to do because then you can share and market, put people in a good environment, load them up with alcohol, and then you'll sign a lot of contracts. So there's a ways and means of doing things.
People love events, and also what people love is where another way of differentiating, like Ian said, having a good deck and having a good messaging to a partner or a client immediately differentiates you. But even further than that, you can use partnerships to differentiate you, to add value adds, like we said, like I have this AI solution, I have these different things. You have all these layers that you can offer to differentiate you. And a lot of times 1 + 1 can equal 3 in partnerships. And that's when it's really cool. Like you take my partner strategy and Anthony Perl's podcast thing, put it together into Thought Leader podcast for partnerships. 1 + 1 now equals 3. There's like a new category that you can create. And if you're strategic, you can, just like Wayne said with the events, and you can be very creative, you can be very creative about how you find a gap in the market for what a client needs, bolt on something of the partners and build something that's stronger than both. And I think if you look at the SaaS world, particularly the technology world, they kill that. Like all the big SaaS companies, they all go through channels and partners and bundling.
And they have good budgets too, Talila. They all have budgets to spend on partnerships. So they're great at having events and collaboration with. Yeah.
Exactly. And if you look at, like, I don't know if you've heard of things like the Starbucks and the Spotify partnership, the Apple and the Nike partnership, like there's so many examples out there in the big world of partnerships, what they've achieved together. Whereas if you think about a lot of people, particularly business owners, they can get very stuck in the run of the mill and feel very lonely and feel like that race to the bottom is all they've got. Like their world closes in on them and they don't see opportunity. They don't see that there's actually freedom there. And again, like I always talk about the 6 key benefits of partnerships. One of them is more and better clients. The other one is marketing more effectively. But what about differentiation? Like you can do so much in that space. Early on, we had a client that used to do tenders for, they were in a very specific niche. And they didn't have a specific solution that a lot of tendering companies wanted. It wasn't really part of their niche, so the procurement managers would have to get separate. They bundled it into their solution so that it was like, for the first time ever, it was available in one thing, one united thing, and that was made them stand out compared to all the other tenders. So you can do so much.
I think that point as well too, Talila, about, we're talking about the profit motive and getting a bit more of a profit margin. The clients that we've found that have come through from referral partners are far less likely to haggle over fees. They're far less likely to try and beat you down or say, is that the best price you can do as well? Like they've been told by their accountant, hey, you need to go and see Ian and get this stuff done. And then they go, okay, cool, I'll go to Ian and get this stuff done. Like you need to go to Wayne, you need to go and get this sorted. Then they've been told to do that and they just go ahead and usually do it. And unless the price is like, whoa, geez, that is way more than I expected, right? There's a far higher chance that they are going to be less cost conscious about it because they know they need to do it and it needs to get done and it's just a cost of doing business.
Yeah, the clients that you get from referrals aren't fee sensitive normally. They've come for you because they know you're going to get good value, good advice, and not because you're the lowest price. And if you're getting referrals because you're the lowest price, then you need to talk to the people that are referring to you and say, don't send me those people. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, send them elsewhere.
Yeah.
The other thing as well too, right, is with AI, there's going to be another race to the bottom. Because if service providers are going to be able to provide what they do at a lower and reduce their costs of production, the temptation is going to be for them to pass those on or part of those efficiencies onto the client. So we're going to see another race, I think, of cheaper service providers that will cheapen the value of our professions again. So I think the trick for us as professional service providers is going to be, how do we leverage AI to provide better service, to provide better output, provide more insights to clients so they stick with you instead of perhaps going and DIYing. Like I think I already know that clients are putting their profit and loss and balance sheets and outputs into probably Chat GPT and saying, hey, what do I need to do to improve my business, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? If you're putting in at the bare minimum, you run the risk of everyone overriding you. But it's also measuring that with just meeting standards because there's an expectation. And that's part of the problem. The pace that we're moving at today is increasing the expectations of what you're going to deliver and the speed at which you're going to deliver. And so when that's the case, you need to be able to free up resources to be able to deliver more. Partnerships help you with that. I mean, Wayne, if I can bring you in as well, I mean, partnering with your business as well helps free up time for people to be able to deliver more in certain areas and offer greater value for what's being invested.
Yeah, well, I think that we talk about capacity. So you need capacity in your senior management and your partners that you can spend more time doing higher value type work. And one of the things I always talk to accountants when they're looking at using us is they're probably doing stuff at a level that could be done at a lower level. So if you look at a pyramid of the skill levels of accounting, they're doing stuff that could be done by a junior accountant that a senior accountant is doing. So when they work with us, I say, hey, why don't you hire people offshore that can do that lower level type pyramid type work, the compliance, and everybody moves up a layer in onshore. So therefore, your senior accountants, your partners can do more advisory. I know senior accountants are hard to get in Australasia. The headhunters are out there. They're going from firm to firm to firm. You know, big salaries. So if you're paying big salaries, you need to get your value. So get them to do advisory, not just doing sets of financials, because you're not going to get your return on investment. So if you get your senior managers doing advisory, you can afford to pay them more. The senior accountants are actually happier because they're doing the type of work they want to do. It's about getting your mix right, and that's where we help. Offshoring helps to do that.
That's also where partnerships help because, like guys have said, those clients that come in from partners are there for value. They're there for advice. They're there for trust. They're not there because of the race to the bottom, the price race to the bottom. The best place to harvest good advisory clients is through partners who are adjacent advisors and who support adjacent service providers and advisors and professionals who support the client's journey and have their client's interests at heart and know that if they refer to you, their client's going to get what they need.
We're already getting clients and potential clients coming to us saying, I've generated my terms using AI. Can you just have a quick look over them and make sure they're compliant? But I haven't yet seen a client come from a referral partner with that, because obviously that type of client is very different to one that I trust that you know what you're doing, you'll do the good job and be affordable and reasonable, rather than, oh, I've done this myself. Surely you can just look over it really quickly and just 15 minutes or a half an hour worth of work. That'd be great.
That's the 80-20 rule. We don't want clients that want to take advantage of us, basically, or who don't understand the layers of value that we bring. There are a lot of risks involved in doing what you just said with ChatGPT, and whilst it's a start, it's not the right thing to do, just like doing your tax returns the wrong way or your drafting,
That's where the importance of partnerships is so important, right? Because when partners understand the quality of what you deliver and the very nature of what it is, and they value that service, it's much easier for them to sell that on to people. So they're not walking in the door with, this is the ChatGPT solution. What do you think?
Our job is to be the very best, to provide the very highest quality of service and to showcase that to our partners so that they're so delighted with the results that we get their clients that they just keep giving us clients. That is as far away from price shopping as it can be. And that doesn't mean that we're expensive. Not at all. We are value for money, not a never expensive, but we're also not trying to be, the black and gold version of whatever it is. That's not good for anyone. Apart from anything else, like Wayne said, good talent is expensive. And, good quality people are expensive. So you get what you pay for, and you want us to run a fantastic service with all the right stuff in it, fair value for money.
I think if we collectively want to future-proof our business with what's coming in the next 5 to 10 years, I think the more personal partnerships we can create, the more we've got a chance of not just surviving the next 5 to 10 years, but also thriving, because I think we will see a very tumultuous environment in the next 5 to 10 years as AI disrupts every single industry. And I think the more we can all capture effectively a bit of an old school way of referrals, but, sometimes the old ways are the best.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of proven in the pudding, right? And if you've got like at least 20 to 50 businesses continually referring your work, then you've got much better chance of getting through these next 10 years really well, because while everyone sorts themselves out and works through this, does their own thing, stuffs it up, gets a fine from the ATO because they've got their AI agent to file their tax returns for them, there's going to be a sorting out, I think, of people when they realize, I think I'll just get someone else to do that. Or that's not my highest and best value in the business, is doing all this stuff with AI. I'm just going to let someone else that's an expert that uses AI to do that.
I think you have to embrace AI. My daughter was at a job fair. She does IT. And guess who are hiring all the IT people, all the grads? Big Four. Deloitte's, PwC. Why are they hiring grads?
Yeah.
Because accounting's changing. So you have to embrace change. So the opportunity for accountants is look at the mix of who you're employing now. Maybe you should look at hiring some people with IT or automation experience, because that's where the opportunities are going to lie within your client base. Or partner with someone that can do that work for you, and you JV with them to deliver it. So there's a number of different ways to future-proof your accounting firm, I think.
I think speaking of that, we've already touched on partnerships reduce client acquisition costs. So that helps with the profit squeeze. It's basically, instead of spending a lot of money on marketing, you're having partnership chats, which is only your time, and you're having them in a structured way. Also, we've talked, and I think both of you have discussed, that the average client value goes up. So that also addresses the profit squeeze. There's also what Wayne just said, which is expertise, partnering with those people who are topical, whether it's marketing or HR, or in this case, IT, that is going to allow faster innovation without adding headcount to your company. So you don't have to hire them, you don't have to pay for them, you just immediately plug into access to their resources. What they gain out of that is clients. What you gain out of that is an immediate upgrade to what you offer. And then there's also what we said about protecting your profit through strategic positioning. The more you can do this, the more you become a trusted advisor. And the beauty of it is too that it's not an endless loop like marketing. You just go out there and you create the key ones that you need right now in the next 2 to 3 years, and you nurture those and you look after them, and you get the results that you need. And profit doesn't go down the toilet, but rather it increases, as does your differentiation and your value to market.
Well, that's all we have time for in this conversation. There's plenty more coming up in The Connected Accountant, so you definitely want to make sure you never miss an episode. A reminder also about some of our exclusive roundtable events for accountants. Visit the show notes for dates and registration details. All contact information for Talila, Wayne and Ian is there as well. This is a Partner Alchemy podcast for thought leaders, a joint venture between Emple and my team at podcastdoneforyou.com.au. I'm Anthony Perl, reminding you to like, share, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. See you next time on The Connected Accountant.